Ross, clearly probably very mixed emotions, such a great performance for the majority of the match and just pipped to the end there. How are you kind of feeling after that result?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't dive into my emotions too much. I think you summed it up pretty well. Played really well for the majority of the night. They really come home late. It's a game of centimetres, really, as opposed to inches. Inches probably a bit long for what we experienced tonight. Centimetres is probably about the right distance, to be honest.
In terms of, I guess, probably the first 3 and a bit quarters of the match until the Swans came home late, but that pressure that you guys were able to apply was immense. I think second quarter alone, 4 goals from forward, 50 turnovers.
Yeah, right.
How impressed were you with what your team was able to produce?
Well, we come with a plan to execute it. I think they've got a clear style of play, and teams that have beaten them just execute what we did tonight. So it's a pretty simple formula. I think that's out there in AFL footy, and we executed it pretty well for the majority and created really good opportunities. And we learned some lessons. We're in the learning space because we have to be. We took some really good learnings defensively and attacking-wise out of a game last week because obviously it wasn't at the level. And we did turn around in the second half, but we just drilled down to 2 simple aspects and we thought we delivered pretty well on them and we're really strong in our approach and positive football. So, the group's hurting emotionally but in the end you've got to come up next week. That's the business.
What's the key thing that you would have liked to have seen in those last couple of minutes to try and hold on to that lead? Was there anything out there that you saw that didn't quite work, or was it just Sydney?
Yeah, I'd have to go away and review. There's always a little bit of composure, a little bit, things can 50-50 calls, to be honest, whether they're intercept marks or those sort of things. But we just thought a little bit early, maybe just didn't use the ball as positively as we were in the first 3 quarters, so we sent the messages to get that going. So, but I have to go away and review. Obviously, we've got some thoughts, but for internal consumption.
Ross, some strong performances today from returning players. How much have you missed some of those guys over the last couple of weeks?
Well, every club goes through it. I suppose it's self-evident, the quality that come back in. We're still trying to build a list out. What are we, 3.5 years in and 3 years, and we've got plenty of work to do. And we look around the league, and I think it's an easier step to go from wherever we were to a good team, but then to get to that upper echelon, a lot of hard work we're seeing around the league. So then it becomes, the desire and the mental toughness to continue to push to grow when clearly we've been in a lot of games all year, a couple of close ones, that's another one. It can take the wind out of your sails, but you can't let it, and the best individuals and the best groups push through these until they get to where they want to go, and that's the challenge.
Ross, normally this is the Pride game, Swans and St Kilda. On Saturday, Gold Coast ruckman Max Noble, he's under investigation for an alleged homophobic slur during a VFL game. Just wondering, as a league, competition and teams, what more can be done to stamp out these kind of incidents?
Yeah, I think it's beyond the scope of this press conference and me post that game. I think it's a question without notice, and I think you could take it up the chain to our CEO. I haven't got a real view on it as I sit here now.
How do you feel your place now going into the back half of the season with all the rain games in Victoria?
Pardon?
How do you feel your place now going into the back half of the season with all the games in Melbourne to come?
Yeah, I don't know, really. I just think we play what's in front of us. What are we, 5'8"? I think that's where we're placed. 5'8", and we'll just narrow our focus to, I think it's GWS next week.
Yep. In terms of some of those new recruits that we saw today, it felt like TDK probably had one of his strongest performances, and the partnership was working really well with Rowan Marshall. How did you assess kind of that plus 10 clearances I think you guys finished?
Did he? Yeah, right.
What was your assessment of how those two were working together?
Yeah, I think based on the information you've seen and I've seen, it was a strong performance, and that's going to continue to evolve. they've had a few of these, and they've had a couple that have been quiet. So we're still looking to embed that and grow it.
How did you see Marcus's job on Isaac Heaney there?
Yeah, I'd have to go away and assess. I think to shoot from the hip here would be wrong.
Ross, the first half last week, you must be, I mean, result aside, you must be pleased with the way the guys responded. And I mean, they must be a fairly coachable group, because that was a dramatic turnaround to be as attacking as they were against a quality side like the Swans at home.
Yeah. We tend to move on pretty quick. Yeah, last week certainly wasn't reflective of our season. We played some really good attacking football, if you want to focus on that aspect, in a number of games, our early games this year. Then we hit a little bit of a roadblock. So, again, the coaching group identified what needed to be educated and implemented, and to the players' credit, they did that fairly well tonight without being perfect. And so hopefully they perpetuate that moving forward would be the ideal outcome.
You had a mid-season rookie out there tonight. How did you rate Campbell Lake's performance?
I thought, as advertised, he was as advertised. Hard worker, pressure, team orientated, good speed, good power. Yeah, he was as advertised and purchased.
Last one.
Any injury concerns, rather, out of the game for you guys tonight?
Not as I sit here now, but things can always come up at least up to 72 hours after the game. So I would get formal emails once all those assessments are conducted in the next 48 hours. But I never take anything for granted, because things do arise, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's a tough game.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.